Because of the sacrifices of builders like Elisha, Brighton Community Church was not just planted. It was built on faith, friendship, and love.
I'm Elisha Lim. I'm from the Family Zone, and I'm one of the founding members when we first started in 1999. Many of them are my good friends who are also pioneers with me together. You know, when I first found out about it and the doctor officially released the news that it is stage 4 rectal cancer, I mean, I'm a layman and I don't really know much about cancer. But stage 4 sounds very, very serious. In fact, it sounds terminal. And for me, one of the first few things that flashed across my mind was, oh, great. So now who's going to take care of my family? Do I have enough finances for my son's university degree? And what about my other kids who are still in school? Who's going to take care of them? Oh no, I won't be able to see them walk down the aisle. And all these thoughts just flooded my mind, right?
But even the strongest foundations are tested. Elisha faced his greatest personal trial.
In this fanny pack is my chemotherapy. Okay, one of the 3 drugs, 2 of the 3 drugs that I take, okay, home with me, and this is an automated pump that pumps for 46 hours. So yes, I am currently going through chemotherapy. Just put this back first before I continue. So why do I choose to serve even while on chemotherapy? Well, you know, fundamentally it's very simple. I'm still alive. If I'm alive, that only means one thing to me. God's not done with me. God has a purpose for me. God has a mission for me. And my task now, from now to the time where He takes me home, is to discover that purpose and to live it out. There are many needs in the church that I also recognize and see. You know, and some of the areas that I see that maybe my skill sets and personality can fit in, I'll try and go into more in that area.
When faced with weakness, some step back. But Elisha chose another way, to keep building.
One thing we all tried to tell him was like, you know, you should take some time off, go spend time with your family, you know, just don't serve so hard for now lah. And so one thing I really remember he said was that, you know, rather than encouraging me to take a step back, you know, why don't you encourage me to serve alongside all of you until my very last breath? Chemo destroys your body, but then notwithstanding that, I think he really made a conscious effort to never step back from the physical tasks. Then even during the meetings, he was always actively driving things. You know, he never took a step back at all. He somehow converted his difficulty into a strength. Like, even when we continued to ask after him, ask him how he's feeling, every time he responded, it wasn't just to tell us like how bad things were in treatment, but he always took it as a chance to encourage us, to see it as a chance to point us towards the faithfulness of God in his life.
And because I love Brighton, I would want to dedicate the rest of my life serving God together with fellow Brightonites and to worship God to my last breath.
Elijah was assigned to us as our marriage counselor. My wife and I back then were worried because we didn't have enough to fully furnish the house. And back then Elisha gave us good advice, saying that for themselves they also were struggling and they moved into their house with bare minimum, and they were able to slowly fill the house like you're actually building your house together as a family. And also throughout the whole marriage counseling, he also gave us good advice on how we should deal with our struggles or our quarrels, and how do we communicate better. And I think that really helped a lot.
Elisha's impact goes beyond his generation. It reaches the next.
Teacher Elisha was our kids' church teacher. He was always very friendly, trustworthy, and patient.
He would always answer patiently in a way that was simple for us to understand, which would also encourage us to ask more questions.
He washed my feet in front of the whole class to imitate Jesus washing his disciples' feet. This was definitely a very interesting way that Teacher Elijah decided to teach us, and it was very funny and has stayed with me up till now.
He impacted our lives by teaching us how to be a good Christian.
I love God, and so I love the church that He loves. At Brighton, I found my faith, I found my wife, and I have now children as a result. So yes, everything happened at Brighton.
In sickness and in health, in weakness and in strength. This is how Elisha builds. With faith, with love, with his life.
My son asked, Dad, do you blame God? Do you blame God? It's a very logical question, right? Very logical question. And I would ask the same as well, right? Do you blame God? I thought about it and I said, son, actually, it's hard to blame God when He has demonstrated over and over and over again His love for me, His faithfulness to me, His provision for me, His friendship through people and support. How to blame God? In fact, it's because of this predicament, not even predicament, because of this situation in my life, I'm experiencing so much blessings from God. How to blame God? Why would I not want to serve God? Why would I not want to praise His name and jump when I have the opportunity in church service?
Teacher Elisha, we hope that you continue persevering, and even if you feel like God or you feel discouraged, we hope that you remember that God will always want the best for you.
God has kept me alive, and as long as I'm alive, I want to continue to love God. I want to continue to love the church that He loves at Brighton. And I invite you, to come alongside to experience God together, to experience His power, His love, and to serve together with me, so that together collectively, regardless, of our circumstances, regardless of my personal circumstances, we will continue to serve the Lord all the days of our lives.
Elisha's story reminds us, to love the church is to love what God loves, with everything we have, for as long as we are given.
Let's love the Lord and serve the church together.